So we completed the test 1 of our test series. So we will be having the discussion. So we will be having the discussion of the anthropology test series for 2020. The discussion class of test 1. We had exam on Saturday and I provided you the model answers on Monday. And the test was from unit 2.1 to 2.5. This is a paper 1 test. So the first question was about bring out the concept and distinguishing features of culture and civilization. Bring out the concept and distinguishing features of culture and civilization. How the answer structure should be there. First part, introduction. See, optional means it's about the command over the subject. Optional means mastering over the subject. Commanding over the subject, mastering over the subject. So we need to have an overall grip on the topics, each and every topic on the subject. So when I talk about the culture and civilization, bring out the concept and distinguishing features of culture and civilization, you have to remember that. So first, simple way, culture definition. Culture definition. I gave you two definitions, E.B. Taylor definition, Malnovisky definition. You remember anyone? If you remember two, it's a great thing. So culture definition, E.B. Taylor's definition or Malnovisky's definition. Next, coming to civilization. The civilization definition, MacIver definition you can put or any other definition you can. So culture definition, civilization definition. Or another way of writing is first write culture definition and culture characteristics, then civilization definition and civilization characteristics. This is a model which I mentioned. Morgan, what he told in his book Ancient Society, he also told with respect to civilization, earlier form of civilization was savagery, then it moved into barbarism, then it moved into civilization. So civilization is not abrupt, civilization is not sudden, civilization is a process from savagery to barbarism to civilization. So that is civilization. So when we will call it as civilization? When we will call it as civilization? Progressiveness, urban development. When urban development, there should be social stratification imposed by cultural light, high development of language, art and science. If these all aspects are present, then it is called as civilization. Whereas culture means it's material and non-material aspects, but higher importance is given to material aspects like values, customs, beliefs, morals. One person will be telling acquired, other person will be telling inherited. Whereas Ralph Linton, he tells that it is acquired and inherited from the society to the people, from the parents to the people. So culture and civilization. Then you have to give proper difference like a table form. Culture, civilization. Why? Because the direct question is bring out the concept and distinguishing feature of culture and civilization. But I asked you for 20 marks. So clear cut distinction. Culture is perennial. It will be going on and has impact on humanity as a whole. Whereas civilization always advancing. Civilization is always advancing, keeping pace with the present. There are no precise standard measurements, no clear standard, no clear measurements, no clear yardstick to measure the culture. But civilization we can measure. 1100 phone, today iPhone phone, or tomorrow there might be something extra, robotics phone. So civilization is measured, whereas culture cannot be measured. Culture is internal. Culture is organic, whereas civilization is external. Civilization is mechanical, which doesn't have any emotions, which doesn't have any sentiments, which doesn't have any feelings. It is just advancement. Technology based, value based. Organic, mechanical. Not advancing, advancing. Transmitted only by interpersonal relation, transmitted without effort. If we required, we will take it. In that way, you have to give a proper distinction between culture and civilization. And apart from that, what you have to add? So culture definition, civilization definition, culture characteristics. Why? Because it is a 20 marker question. In my model answers I gave you clearly. Culture characteristics, culture definition, civilization characteristics, civilization definition. Then difference between the culture and civilization, and the most important part is the relationship between the culture and civilization also you have to give. Why? Because it is a 20 marker. So 20 marker question means 4 pages. So the relationship between the culture and civilization also you have to mention in your answer. So I gave you proper difference between the culture and civilization. This should be the model answer. But when you are writing about culture, you can give an example. When you are writing about civilization, you can give an example, like technology based civilization example, culture value based culture example. For example, Kurumbas, when they go for hunting, when they get the hunt, they will be sharing among the people. Irrespective of the people belong to their community or not, they will be sharing among their locality. That is the culture. Civilization, no. We will think about tomorrow. We will think about stratification. We will think about technology. We will think about advancement. These all things will be there in civilization. But culture, it is not there. In that way also, you can take one example and you can give a distinction between the culture and civilization. The second question is, critically examine the universality definition of marriage and family. Means critically examine the universality of the definition of marriage and family. What is that? So, marriage definition, family definition. Marriage definition, family definition. Characteristics of marriage, characteristics of family. Characteristics of marriage, characteristics of family. Remember one definition of marriage, remember one definition of family. Anthropologist definition. If you remember two, it's great. So, minimum to minimum, one anthropologist definition, one anthropologist definition. Characteristics of marriage, characteristics of family. Then, you have to write like this answer. Marriage as universal institution. Why? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Marriage as not universal institution. 1, 2, 3, 4. Family as universal institution. 1, 2, 3, 4. Family as non-universal institution. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in both the lines, in both the comparisons, you are explaining marriage as universal, marriage as not universal, family as universal, family as not universal. Then you will come to a conclusion. That yes, definition, the word definition means which fits historically, which fits cross-culturally, and which fits at a different localities, at different geographies, different times and different space. So, that means when definition is nothing but a statement, when I fix in ancient times, in medieval times and today and in future, if I put in primitive society culture and modern society culture, in Asia, in Africa, in America, the statement should be universally true, the statement should be 100% correct, then that particular statement is called as definition. So here we are testing that a definition of marriage, that definition of family is universally valid or not, Points universally valid 1, 2, 3, 4, not universally valid 1, 2, 3, 4. Universally valid family 1, 2, 3, 4, not universally valid 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you will come to a conclusion. The conclusion is, yes, the marriage is not universal, the marriage definition is not universal, but the functions of marriage is universal. Similarly, the family definition is not universal, but the functions of the family is universal. Yes, family as an institution present everywhere, but we cannot fix by a single definition. It might be William Stephen Newton definition, it might be Murdoch definition of family, or it might be a Westermarck definition of marriage, or it might be a Malnovisky's definition of marriage. So, at one single junction, we cannot fix the definition of marriage and see, the same. Westermarck definition of marriage, see, universality. Marriage is considered as universal because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points I told you. Universality, marriage as not universal institution, I had examples. Nayars of South India where female has sexual freedom outside the marriage bond. That means that sexual behavior of wife varies. Second, in Azande tribe of Africa, where boy-boy marriages are there, newer society, girl-girl marriage is there, cattle marriage of Bantu is there, trial marriages of Maasai tribe is there. So marriage is not universal. So definition means that statement should be universally valid. If that statement is not universally valid, it is not called as definition, hence the universality is not correct. Then according to Edmund Leach, we cannot define a social institution like marriage, came to a conclusion. Anthropologist told. Edmund Leach told. Then family, Murdoch definition you can write. If you want, you can write William Stephen Newton's definition also. Universality of family, 1, 2, 3, 4, why it is universal family. And as paucity, here I mentioned universality of family and non-universality of family, and you have to give the conclusion. So in both, what should be the conclusion means, yes, the basic unit of the society is the basic unit of society is family, and the family is because of marriage. So the definitions of marriage and families are varying across the geographies, varying across the time scales, but the functions of marriage and the functions of family are universally valid. In that way you have to write. See, the same, I gave you the model answer. Yes. This again PDF I will be sending into the group. Third question. Social stratification, discuss the social stratification according to any three approaches. Any three approaches is enough. I gave you one extra approach in the model answer, anthropological approach. You can neglect it. What? A functional approach, a Weber's approach, a dialectic approach. These are the three main approaches which you have to write in social stratification. But apart from that, you can write non-egalitarian society, class-based society, rank-based society, then functional approach, then dialectic approach, then Weber's approach. What is dialectic approach? What is dialectic approach means mainly the class, Karl Marx, bourgeois proletariat, based upon the labor and based upon the capital. Weber's approach, it is class, it is status, it is prestige. Functional social stratification. What is functional social stratification? Yes, social stratification is inevitable. Social stratification is inevitable. Why? Because of social stratification, there is order in the society. There is proper demarcation of division of labor. There is proper stability in the society. Yes. Inevitability of social stratification. Need for differential ability for different functions. Differential evaluation of different social positions and duties. Reward on the basis of differential values attached with different functions. Value and reward distribution, social stratification. Example, Jajimane system. The best example is Jajimane system. Social stratification is there. A dominant caste is there. And other pattern, client pattern system is there. Other service oriented caste groups are there in Jajimane system. So because of that stratification of Jajimane system, the Indian villages are peaceful. The Indian villages are little republics. The Indian villages, we no need to look into another village. Why? Because we have a barber here, we have a washerman here, we have a carpenter here, we have a priest here, we have a ruler here in the form of dominant caste. So everything is arranged. So social stratification is good only. Functional approach. In Weber approach, class is one criteria, status is another criteria, prestige is another criteria. Dialectic approach, Marx, economic interests. Mainly it is economic interests, because of which there is social stratification. Example I gave you for Weber's approach is, yes, dominant caste in India, Jajimane system for family, and dominant caste in India for Weber's. Whereas dialectic approach, bourgeois versus proletariat of USSR. Discuss the impact of industrialization, urbanization, feminist movements on family system. See, listen. Write the definition of family. First paragraph. Second, see, The family is impacting not because of industrialization or not because of urbanization or not because of feminist movement. It is because of the individual characteristics which are present in. It is because of individual characteristics which are present in industrialization it is impacting. For example, whether I am influencing you means no. I am not influencing you. The characteristics which are present in me are influencing you. The characteristics which are present in you is influencing me, but not you. Means in the way, the industrialization characteristics, urbanization characteristics, feminist movement characteristics. Industrialization, the best example is Kolkos case study of USSR. Kolkos case study of USSR, which is result of Russian Revolution. So, industrialization, what are the factors? Then studies, Gore study, feminism movements and their impact, cultural impact, industrialization and its impact. So, answer should be industrialization, characteristics and impact. When you are writing impact, social impact, political impact, cultural impact and economical impact. Urbanization, characteristics, impact, social impact, political impact, cultural impact. One more thing, it is not only every time negative, it is positive also. Because of feminism, the decision making power of women enhanced in family system, that is good only, no? Because of feminist movement, the social evils which were been prevailing in Indian family system were been deteriorated, that is good only, no? The opportunities for women enhanced, her economic participation enhanced, her political participation enhanced, the social status of women enhanced because of these factors, yes. So, again, you should not come to a conclusion that industrialization is negatively impacting family, urbanization is negatively impacting family, no. For example, I will tell you one thing. A SC community is there, scheduled caste community is there in Indian rural areas. So, in Indian rural areas, you know, the stratification is very rigid. The stratification is very rigid. So, SCs were being identified, SCs were being branded. So, the SC person, if he come onto the road, or the SC person when he come onto the temples, I am talking about traditional Indian village, he is branded like an SC as a Dalit. So, then what he will think? See, it's waste of living in Indian villages. Every day, every hour, I am being branded as a scheduled caste. All my rights were being violated. I will go to urban area. Why? Because in urban area, what is there? Anonymity is the feature of the urban area. Other person don't know about you. Other person is least bothered about your caste. So at least the SC person will be having independence, self-respect. So that to come out of that caste-based discrimination is coming to urban. That is good thing only. But when he is coming from his rural area, he is breaking his joint family and is coming into the rural area. So the negative is what? Disintegration of the joint family into the nuclear family. But however, he is coming out from the clutches of the caste system which is prevailing in rural areas. So there is not only negative thing, there is positive things also because of urbanization. Good services are there in urban areas. Education, health, drainage facility, drinking water facility, yes. And the conclusion, never we should criticize industrialization, urbanization and feminism. It might be globalization also. We can expect questions like globalization. We can expect questions like education system. Yes, the same lines you have to write. In syllabus, or I gave you the question on industrialization, urbanization and feminist movement. You add extra globalization impact, educational system impact on family system, characteristics of globalization and its impact, characteristics of education system and its impact. The same, follow this. I gave some facts here, some statistics, write this in your answer. Yes, negative changes. These are all the points which are there here. Explain the concept of status and role in anthropology. What is the significance of status and role? Status, position, role, his function, his duties. So status can be two, it can be ascribed or achieved. Ascribed means by birth. Achieved means by getting it, achieved status. So every man in the society, either might be marriage relationship, family relationship, kinship system, there is a role associated to the individual based upon his status. Being a father, being a son, being a husband, being a wife, being a mother. So status is associated with the status, role is associated. With the status, the role is associated, the same thing. According to, so definitions we have to mention, which we know. According to Ralph Linton, this Ralph Linton is the person who told that culture is acquired as well as inherited, both. So Ralph Linton, status is person's social position. It is used to designate one's ranking in the social system with connotations of higher or lower status. Every society has a system of status differentiation where an individual's position is defined by a social group. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, it is also one of the social status. For Brahmana there is one role, for Kshatriya there is one role, for Vaishya there is one role, for Shudra there is one role, status and role. It is defined as a honor accorded by the community. This honor can be accorded on several bases, might be family background, ethnicity, education, property, caste. Based upon the family background, yes. Ascribed status. In India, ancient Rome and China, medieval Europe, etc., a man born in a social group was given the status of that group. The status is associated by birth. The status assigned is called as ascribed status. Achieved status, contrary to the ascribed status, and achieved status is the one accorded to a person on account of his personal accomplishments. The President of India, Ramnath Kovind, he belongs to lower caste, but he achieved the status of President of India. Achieved status because of his personal accomplishments. In open class society, the basis of status assigning are personal achievements and not ascription. Here there is a complete freedom for the members of different strata to mix up, and a person from ordinary status ranking can reach the top of the ladder of the status. Ramnath Kovind, our own B.R. Ambedkar, achieved status, irrespective of the status of his birth. If he is getting the higher status, that is called as achieved status. So with that status, there is a role is associated. With that status, a role is associated. Role, a dynamic aspect of status. Social positions are always in interaction, and their interaction can be understood by the concept of role. A role is a pattern of behavior associated with a distinctive status. In explanatory terms, a role is an interrelated set of explanation and actions that is associated with a position in a social organization. What is now my role is a teacher role. Your role is a student role. My status is teacher, I have a role. Your role is a student, you have a role. So there is a need for synchronization between the teacher and student, status and role. Mother and son, father and daughter, status and role. Roles are thus patterns of action and interaction that people enact wherever they engage in a collective activity, or when alone, when they act as directed by or such activity. A role then is an intersection or a point of convergence between individual action and some kind of organized or organizational participation. Individually I will be doing, and as an individual when I am doing, it is a part of the organization as well. If you become an IAS officer, it is not your individual role. It is an individual role which is also in coterminous with your organizational role of the state. Why? Because you are part of the state. So your role is not an individual, your role is also part of the state. I am a family member. As a family member, if I am doing my role, it is not my individual role alone. With my individual role as a part of my family also, my role will play. If I do any mistake, it's not the individual mistake. The family name will be corrupted. The total family name will be corrupted means the role is not individual based. The role is individual based plus organization based. The organization can be family or can have numerous roles performed by different persons. Most roles are much more complex than they appear in the first instance. A university teacher may be a husband, a father, a friend. So status and role. Discuss the impact of lockdown due to COVID-19 on urban families in India. This is one question. Discuss the impact of lockdown due to COVID-19 on urban families in India. What is the impact? Family definition. Functions of family. Then positive impact, negative impact. Of what? COVID-19. But this is content which I gave you. How to write? Family. Functions of family. Then brief introduction of COVID-19. Brief introduction of COVID-19. Then first paragraph family. Second paragraph functions of family. Third paragraph brief introduction of COVID. Fourth, interaction between the COVID-19 and family, because of which there is positive impacts and negative impacts. Positive impacts you will give. Parents and children got to spend more time. Economic cooperation increased, enculturation happened, care for old parents happened. Negative impact, homeless and migrants in urban cities face the problems of scarcity of food, psychological stress due to job insecurity, migrant crisis. Positive, negative. Here you can add one case study. I observed in your answer sheets, no one added this. See, the Prime Minister of India had given a call to the nation for clapping and for lightening the candles to show the solidarity of India. All the families of India, all the families, not a single family. 99% of the families of India participated in that. This is an example of solidarity with the nation. What is nation? A society. We are in solidarity with the nation. You can write this example. A family solidarity was being explained to the world, that we are together. As a family we are together, as a nation we are together to fight against this pandemic. You can write this example, no? Impact of COVID on family. So family members, everyone came onto the terrace, they started beating plates, etc., etc. A solidarity thing. If any family disintegrates, in future if the family disintegrates, we can have a memory. See, once upon a time when the pandemic was there, we were being united. We did clapping, we did lightening of the candles. So there is a chance of unification of the family which is at the verge of division. Positive outcome. The positive, last paragraph, positive outcome. Why? Because it's not about the disease. See, I don't want to ask about the disease. I don't want to discuss about the disease. Why? Because this is not science and technology test. I want to know about the family solidarity, how the family is expressing itself like a strong unit of the society called as India. So Prime Minister call you can add.